In August 2011, I was at my fiance's best friend's wedding, and I had a seizure the night before the wedding. And they took me to the local hospital in Falmouth. They weren't sure what was wrong with me, so they transported me to a hospital in Boston. They did an MRI, they did a CAT scan, they did any number of scans and couldn't find anything. At least they said they couldn't find anything. So they actually put a PICC line in me, and they said you probably have an infection. I can't remember the infection. And then they sent me back home after 2 weeks of observation. And I got home with my MRI scan in my pocket. Met a neurologist. And he took one look at the scan and said, you probably have a brain tumor. Go down one floor to the oncology department. I went down one floor. They looked at the scan and they said, it's probably a low-grade brain tumor. Don't worry about it. Go get married. So we get home. I tell my wife, this is crazy. You can't marry me. I have a brain tumor. And she said, it's not your call. Shut up. We're going to get married.
Yeah, well.
That was an amazing girl that I had.
Well, yeah, she's there with you during the worst times, right?
I really tried to convince her not to go through with it, and she said I was the idiot. So we get married, and then we were going to go on our honeymoon, but somebody broke her foot at the wedding, so we ended up not going for the honeymoon. So we did the biopsy earlier than expected, and it came back glioblastoma, grade 4 brain tumor.
Wow.
So, my neurosurgeon, a wonderful guy, said, we need to operate tomorrow. And then he gave me the odds.
Grade 4 is that the worst that you can get?
Yes, they are the worst that you can get. And he said, 15 months is the average lifespan from diagnosis. And
how does that hit you when you just got married and everything? That's got to be brutal.
It's brutal, and you think, I need to get my affairs in order. But you hope maybe you'll be that one in a million, but you probably won't be. But we do the surgery. Everything went really well, and I credit my surgeon for that. I had an infection. They had to go back in, and then within a few weeks, the tumor started growing again, and they eventually had to, tell me, okay, it's grown bigger than the original. So that was a very significant recurrence, and so they went back in and did another surgery that caused me to lose peripheral vision on the right side. And post that, I had another infection. So it was a terrible journey. And in the meantime, I was doing standard of care, radiation, chemotherapy. I tried one clinical trial, another clinical trial. Nothing was working. So about a year into this journey, my sister-in-law, Claire Mahoney, who's in a doctoral program in material science, did some research, and she said, the ketogenic diet and fasting, this is what you should be doing. And I said, well, there's no evidence. And she said, it can't hurt you, give it a try. I don't know why, but I decided to give it a try and started the diet, started to fast before and after my chemotherapy infusions. And then the tumor started to decrease, or the visible tumor that was left started to decrease. And since January 2014, there's been no change to my MRI. Well, my oncologist said, go have ice cream, be happy, because I think he thought that it would not work.
I think that's the main thing. People say, oh, you have cancer, eat ice cream. Yeah. It's like, what's the worst thing you can give cancer? Sugar.
And I understand his perspective. I understand the risk to his liability.
Sure, absolutely.
I understand, that he probably has seen this a million times and never, had a good outcome. So I don't,
How long ago was this?
Well, the diagnosis 5.5 years. The diet I started 4 years ago, and a little over 4 years ago, and I've been stable for 3 years.
What's crazy is that, besides a scar on your head, you look perfectly fine. You look like you've come out of this pretty strong.
Except for the loss of peripheral vision, I think I feel better than I ever have.
Yeah. And has being on a ketogenic diet, has it affected your weight, your health in other ways too?
Yes. I used to be 330 pounds.
Jesus. We forgot to mention that. What do you weigh now? Like 220?
Between 190 and 200. When you have a cancer diagnosis, it becomes less important.
Yeah, but how wonderful is that it not only allowed you to continue living and stay married to your beautiful wife who stuck with you, but now you have better years with her because now you're in way better shape and you can enjoy those things. You know, when you're 330 pounds, flying on an airplane isn't fun. You know,
No, it's not. Nothing is fun when you're that heavy.
Yeah.
And it allowed me to start exercising. I swim in cold water as often as I can. I walk in the forest. I make sure I stay grounded. And now I have a 2-year-old. My wife and I decided it was time to have a family. We'd always wanted one, and I feel that this diet has helped me survive this long, and I think it will help me see my son's graduation from high school.
When you actually meet the people, it's really affecting me right now. Because I want to say this diet, you can do this, and this will help with this disease, and it all sounds good on paper. When you actually meet people doing it, it's pretty impressive. So God bless you, man. I really enjoyed
Tell people that want to try this, just try it. Do it your way. Do what you can. Don't let anybody tell you this is how you have to do it. See how you feel. See what your body is telling you. Listen to your body and your spirit, and just do what you can.
And don't take it laying down, right?
And keep adjusting, keep fighting, and you can make it through. There's no reason you can't. I did not think I could. I know it's not an easy message to hear, and I just hope that people listen. And
you're a hero, man. Just keep fighting.
You're a hero for doing this documentary.
I appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
I love your story. Thank you, man.